The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen, or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. What we have once enjoyed we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. Never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence. And I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. What I am looking for is not out there, it is in me. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. Death is no more than passing from one room into another. But there's a difference for me, you know, because in that other room I shall be able to see. One can never consent to creep when one feels an impulse to soar. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. It is wonderful how much time good people spend fighting the devil. If they would only expend the same amount of energy loving their fellow men, the devil would die in his own tracks of ennui. Life is either a great adventure or nothing. Love is like a beautiful flower which I may not touch, but whose fragrance makes the garden a place of delight just the same. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. So long as the memory of certain beloved friends lives in my heart, I shall say that life is good. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. When we do the best that we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or in the life of another. No pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new doorway for the human spirit. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. The highest result of education is tolerance. Knowledge is love and light and vision. I do not want the peace which passeth understanding. I want the understanding which bringeth peace. Once I knew only darkness and stillness. My life was without past or future. But a little word from the fingers of another fell into my hand that clutched at emptiness, and my heart leaped to the rapture of living. It is a terrible thing to see and have no vision. The heresy of one age becomes the orthodoxy of the next. Smell is a potent wizard that transports you across thousands of miles and all the years you have lived. The most pathetic person in the world is someone who has sight, but has no vision. All the world is full of suffering. It is also full of overcoming. The marvelous richness of human experience would lose something of rewarding joy if there were no limitations to overcome. The hilltop hour would not be half so wonderful if there were no dark valleys to traverse. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained. To me, a lush carpet of pine needles or spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxurious Persian rug. Many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. It is for us to pray not for tasks equal to our powers, but for powers equal to our tasks. To go forward with a great desire forever beating at the door of our hearts, as we travel toward our distant goal. Science may have found a cure for most evils, but it has found no remedy for the worst of them all, the apathy of human beings. Life is an exciting business, and most exciting when it is lived for others. The world is moved along, not only by the mighty shoves of its heroes, but also by the aggregate of tiny pushes of each honest worker. While they were saying among themselves it cannot be done, it was done. There is no king who has not had a slave among his ancestors, and no slave who has not had a king among his. Literature is my utopia. Here I am not disenfranchised. No barrier of the senses shuts me out from the sweet, gracious discourses of my book friends. They talk to me without embarrassment or awkwardness. I seldom think about my limitations, and they never make me sad. Perhaps there is just a touch of yearning at times, but it is vague, like a breeze among flowers. Instead of comparing our lot with that of those who are more fortunate than we are, we should compare it with the lot of the great majority of our fellow men. It then appears that we are among the privileged. No one has a right to consume happiness without producing it. Toleration is the greatest gift of the mind. It requires the same effort of the brain that it takes to balance oneself on a bicycle. We may have found a cure for most evils, but we have found no remedy for the worst of them all, the apathy of human beings. I can see, and that is why I can be happy, in what you call the dark, but which to me is golden. I can see a God-made world, not a man-made world. As the eagle was killed by the arrow winged with his own feather, so the hand of the world is wounded by its own skill. College isn't the place to go for ideas. Strike against war, for without you no battles can be fought. Of all the senses, sight must be the most delightful. People do not like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. Helen Keller was an American author, lecturer, and political activist. She was born on June 27, 1880, in Tuscumbia, Alabama, and passed away on June 1, 1968. Keller is renowned for her remarkable achievements as a deafblind individual. Despite losing her sight and hearing at a young age, she learned to communicate through the efforts of her teacher, and Sullivan. Keller went on to graduate from college, became a prolific writer, and advocated for the rights of people with disabilities. Her life and accomplishments continue to inspire and serve as a symbol of perseverance and determination.